Has this happened to you? That thought before your eyes even open, knowing another day with persistent pain lies ahead. The familiar flood of dread weighs on your mind. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Today, we'll explore three people's discoveries about transforming their morning mental battles into pathways of possibility. Their stories might surprise you because sometimes the biggest change starts with the smallest shift in perspective. If you find value in learning strategies for overcoming pain and restoring your quality of life, please hit that like button and subscribe. Your engagement helps this channel reach others who need this information. Greetings. It's nice to see you again. And those here for the first time, you're very welcome. Let me introduce you to our first story of morning transformation. It's Margot, a 43-year-old pharmacist. She used to start each morning with a ritual of worry. Her carpal tunnel syndrome, a condition where compressed nerves in the wrist cause tingling, numbness, and shooting pains through the hands and the fingers. And she'd lie in bed mentally rehearsing all the prescriptions she'd need to count that day. I'd wake up at 5 a.m. just to worry about 9 a.m., she recalled. My mind would spiral into worst case scenarios before I'd even gotten out of bed. The turning point came during a morning team meeting when her pharmacy technician shared how she dealt with pre-work anxiety. She told me she starts each day by listing three things she's looking forward to, no matter how small. Even it's the good coffee in the break room or a favorite song on her commute. This simple practice shifted Margot's morning mindset. Instead of waking up thinking about how many prescriptions I'd need to count, I started thinking about the elderly customer who always tells funny stories, or the new efficiency system my team was implementing. The pain was still there, but it was getting a sense of overcoming it because it wasn't the first thing on my mind anymore. Like Margot, Ingrid discovered that changing her morning thoughts could reshape her entire day. At 52, this culinary instructor faced a daily battle with failed back surgery syndrome, a condition where back or leg pain persists or worsens after spinal surgery, often leaving patients with chronic pain and limited mobility. Each morning brought stiffness and aching that made her question how she'd make it through another day of teaching. I used to lie in bed calculating how many hours I'd have to stand, she shared. Then during a family dinner, my sister noticed how I'd start dreading tomorrow before today was even over. She suggested I try her preview approach. Instead of counting the hard hours ahead, she'd mentally walk through the best parts of her upcoming day. The idea clicked. Ingrid started using her morning wake-up time to imagine the highlights of her cooking class. Now when I wake up, I think about the students' faces when they master a new technique, or how the kitchen will smell when we bake fresh bread, or the stories I'll share about each recipe's history. The pain is less noticeable, but my mind is already focusing on the parts of teaching that brings me joy. This intentional shift in her morning routine began to influence how she approached her class. So rather dreading the standing time ahead, she started her day by thinking about the recipes she'd share and the students she'd meet. The pain didn't disappear totally, but it stopped being the director of my day. Wesley found himself on a similar journey of morning mindset transformation. At 45, the Steam's-Bitters post-thoracotomy pain syndrome, that's a hard word, it's chronic pain that develops after chest surgery, affecting the nerves between the ribs and causing persistent aching and burning in the chest wall. It turned his mornings into a battleground. Every morning breath was a reminder of his condition. I used to wake up angry, Wesley remembered. Angry at my body, angry at the surgery, angry at having to face yet another day of this. One morning, his daughter caught him muttering, "I have to go to work," as he struggled with his work boots. "Daddy," she said, "my teacher says we should say 'I get to' instead of 'I have to' because it makes us feel better about the things we don't feel great about doing." That innocent observation hit home. I realized I was teaching her that work was a burden, when really, I was lucky to still be able to work with my team. Wesley started practicing this language shift every morning. Now when I wake up, I say, I get to take another breath instead of focusing on how much the breath hurts. I get to put on my work boots. I get to drive to work. Some days it feels mechanical at first, but it always shifts something in my mind. Through their own experiences, Margot, Ingrid, and Wesley each discovered something that scientists are now confirming in research labs. Brain imaging has revealed that our first waking thoughts actually create distinct neural patterns that influence how we process pain throughout the entire day. We're discovering more and more about how positive anticipation, like Margot's three things or Ingrid's preview of meaningful moments, can activate reward centers in the brain that help buffer pain signals. Likewise, research suggests that reframing our language, as Wesley learned to do, can shift our brain's emotional response to pain, potentially altering how intensely we experience it throughout the day. What's especially exciting about these findings is that they show how our three heroes' intuitive solutions of looking forward to small pleasures, focusing on meaningful moments, and shifting language patterns weren't just psychological tricks. They were actually discovering scientifically sound ways to influence their brain's pain processing centers, leading to better pain recovery and improvement of their emotional resilience. So, what can we learn from these three morning transformations? Let's start with Margot's simple but powerful discovery. When you first wake up, before you even open your eyes, try naming three things you're looking forward to that day. They can be as small as your favorite coffee mug or as significant as a lunch date with a friend. Remember how Ingrid shifted her focus to the meaningful moments ahead? Instead of counting the difficult hours, she learned to preview the good parts of her day. You might think about a conversation you're looking forward to or a project you enjoy. And Wesley's insight about language? That tiny shift from have to get to might feel strange at first, but give it a try. Instead of, I have to get out of bed, try, I get to start a new day. You might be surprised how this small change can soften that morning dread. Those first few moments of that morning can set the tone for your entire day. Each small shift in how you greet those early thoughts end up providing you with new possibilities. Your journey with pain is uniquely yours, but as we've seen today, even the gentlest change in perspective can ripple through your day in meaningful ways. So it's bye for now, and I'm wishing you a comfortable week.